And just like that, we are back. Buff Nation, just like that, we are back. Welcome to the Saturday live stream. The most anticipated live stream in Buffs Nation every Saturday at noon. It's time to get busy, y'all. It's time to get busy. Welcome to all the folks who are here early, tapped in with me. This one is going to be action-packed, and you guys are definitely going to be part of the action. So welcome in. As you come on in here, go ahead and let it be known who you are and where you tuning in from. Let it be known who you are and where you are tuning in from. It's a beautiful day, y'all, in my neighborhood. There is nowhere else I'd rather be than on live with y'all. Because of you guys is why this channel is successful and we continue to grow. And so I'm going to do my best to deliver to you the best content possible. In addition to letting me know who you are and where you're tuning in from, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. I'm working on my audio quality, video quality every week. Every time we do a live stream, we got to get better, y'all. We absolutely need to get better. Constant and continuous improvement. We got an action-packed show, guys, as you can see from the thumbnail. We're going to get into what really matters, and that's strictly football talk. So let's get into it. This running back room might be the best unit on the team right now. Keywords right there, right now. They're explosive. They're physical. And the room is deep, y'all. There's threats at all levels of that room. But on the other side of the ball, there's one group that could hold this team back. And if that does not improve, we might be looking at some of the same issues we saw in 2025. So today we got breakout players that we're going to highlight. We're even going to introduce something new, which is the coach of the week. As you guys can tell, these coaches are coaching up their rooms and it's highly competitive. Bubba, what's up, man? Bubba, straight out of Houston, Texas, the H-Town. All right, I love it. I love it. Bubba, if this is your first time here, or at least maybe your first time commenting, welcome. Welcome to the chat. I need you in the chat helping me make this thing interactive. All right, so Bubba, welcome to you, sir. Thank you for being here. All right, so what's good, Buffs Nation? It's Common Sense Buffs, and we're back again for another live breakdown. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without some dope content to react to. If you're new here, possibly like Bubba, this is the home of real Buffs analysis, real conversation, and real takes. So hit that like immediately when you come in the room, like wiping your feet on the doormat. Go ahead and hit that like button so more people who are out there looking for Buffs content can find us today and join the conversation. We got 790 something subscribers. I think we're going to go over 800. Let's make that happen today. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to give you enough value today to make you want to hit that subscribe button and tap in with us as we continue our road to 1,000 subscribers. We are almost there. So shout out to everybody who joined us on the live show on Thursday. 737 views, 50 plus likes. Y'all ran that thing up. Let's outperform it this week, man. Every single live, we got to get better. And so today we're building on that momentum from Thursday. We're going to talk about JuJu Lewis starting to settle in. I think there was a little bit of concern early in camp. Man, Isaac Wilson is balling. Now, what's up with JuJu? We're going to talk about him starting to settle in. We're going to talk about this running back room, guys, and they're making a strong case for the identity of the team. And in 2026, the word that I keep hearing is violence. This running back room is running with violence and adopting that identity. So we're going to talk about that running back room. And we got to talk about a defensive concern. And that's where most of the debate is going to be centered today. So I appreciate you guys jumping in here and getting busy with me on this Saturday afternoon. LOL, you're bored. Linebackers will be fine. Hey, this is a digital, man. Hey, every time you come in with the baby Drake, man. Shooting up the place. Calm down. It's early. But I like that, though. So we're going to debate it out. I'm going to share my concerns You let me know what you think, Digital, because you're sitting back comfortable talking about, man, linebacker's gonna be cool. I'm gonna state my case in the debate. You could battle it out with me. We're gonna get busy. That's what it's about on Saturdays. Bubba says the O-line is moving people. Yeah, I'm liking that offensive line unit. I can tell you right now, linebackers won't be a problem. I've seen this team live. The linebackers may actually be a strength. All right, Cam Duncan, you guys can battle it out. You and Digital, you know, you guys gonna come through when we get to that part of the debate and let me know why I'm wrong. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. All right. All right. So something new for this live stream. Because of your support, we've actually crossed an important threshold at YouTube. You guys can now hit me with the super chat, support the show. You can now hit me with the super chat, support the show. All right. So drop a super chat during this live stream. I'm trying to find out who's going to be our very first super chat. That's going to be a very exciting milestone for the channel. I'll be calling out those super chats on live, responding to your takes, and bringing you into the show. So let's build this thing out together. All right, segment one, let's jump in. JuJu Lewis is on the rebound, y'all. I know we did some early videos. I did an Isaac Wilson highlights reaction. I also did a JuJu Lewis highlight reaction. This was before spring break. And my man Isaac Wilson was balling out. There was a lot of chatter in my comment section and other comment section across the YouTube comments or YouTube creator universe that people were concerned. Hey, is Isaac Wilson going to come through and surprise a lot of us? Is this an opportunity for him to come here and really make some noise? But what I've seen is JuJu Lewis is on the rebound, y'all. In the comments, what are you seeing from JuJu that you like right now? Because after spring break, he's come back looking different. And the biggest thing I'm seeing from him right now is his comfort level in the pocket. Now, it's not perfect, right? He's still a young quarterback. And in Chris Marv's defense, they love to bring pressure. And in a lot of instances, if you have an inexperienced quarterback, one of the great ways to get to them or get in their head is to bring pressure. And I think some of that pressure was affecting him early in the spring. But after spring break, it seems like he's getting a little bit more comfortable, Cam Duncan says, I can tell you right now, the linebackers won't be a problem. Okay, I already read that. Digital says, Livingston is gone. Linebackers will be awesome. You think Livingston was the problem with the linebackers? Dizza? Cam says, for one, I actually have seen the practices live and get the intel from the team. Okay, Cam, listen, man, we need you to be our guy on the street. Can you be our guy on the street since you're watching the practices live? Can you drop us some exclusives, man? And we need to see them press credentials because you know we gotta verify everything over here, man. You can't be just, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be, you know, but I trust. I'm a trust, but I'm a verify. All right. Coach Dre, back up in the chat, man. You know it's gonna be a good one when I see Cam Duncan, Coach Dre, Digital all tapped in on a Saturday. Coach Dre says, what's good, chat? And common blessings and respect. Man, hey, much respect and much blessings to you, man. The Almighty is blessing, guys. The Almighty is blessing. And Cam Duncan says, JuJu was dealing with the Ponder loss. He was very close to Ponder and his death hit him hard, which is why he looked like he was a step behind at first. Listen, I'm going to acknowledge that here in just a second. It was in my notes. And somebody who was very insightful on another live stream brought that up, which I wasn't really considering. So, you know, that's a great point there, Cam Duncan. Okay, Bubba comes through, man. Hey, listen, man. Bubba, big up yourself, man. Bubba, big up yourself. Not only are you new in the chat, man, you come through with the $19.99 super chat. I appreciate that, man. Blessings to you. $19.99. Go ahead and give me your question, man. If you got a question that you want me to talk about, an issue, something that you see out there that you want us to address on this live stream, I'm going to definitely address it as we go. There is things I can't say. Okay, Cam. Yo, Cam says, I cannot reveal my sources. Cam is speaking on the condition of anonymity. All right. He is speaking on the condition of anonymity. Cam, come on, man. Don't do me like that. Come on, give it. Okay. I'm gonna let you keep your sources, but we're gonna have to verify your press pass and how you're getting in there and watching these live practices. Coach Dre said again last night, Duke said what I said, that JuJu was dealing with losing his best friend and Dom, and his pop said this was the first person he lost. He went home and got together. He's good now. Yeah, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So how is that he's good now showing up in practice? Well, he's more decisive pre-snap. One of the things about Go-Go is Brylen Marion is coaching these quarterbacks to know where they're going to go with the ball before the ball is snapped. All right. Which is one of the great things with having a working running game. You apply so much pressure. You got the defense guessing so much that they're going to reveal some things pre-snap about what adjustments they're making trying to stop the run. And that gives the quarterback the ability to choose his target pre-snap. All right. So that's what I'm seeing, right? It's not even a one-step drop. Maybe it's like as soon as the ball is snapped, they know where they're going with the ball. And what they're doing is they're neutralizing Chris Marv's ability to bring pressure. And I'm going to talk about the edge room and what I like from them. They are bringing pressure. But the thing that Brylen Marion in his play calling is really mixing up is, hey, if you're going to bring pressure, we're going to punish you with the run, and then we're going to give our quarterbacks the opportunity to make decisions pre-snap about where they're going to go with the ball when we pass the ball. So I really like how JuJu is coming along with that. And all three of these quarterbacks are doing that really well. Isaac Wilson and Quannell Sweetwine as well. All right, JuJu is talking something I've never seen him do. Yeah, when these confrontations are happening, in the last well-off video, I saw a little clip of JuJu responding to somebody saying, hey, that ish that you guys are doing is not going to work. It didn't work last time. It's not going to work this time. All right, Dizza, would love to hear your thoughts on front running quitters, Staub Seaton, and Merritt taking shots at the CU program. Hey, listen, we're going to let other channels do that, man. Right now, what we're focused on is only the football. That's kind of the niche that I'm carving out for myself. No doubt that there are people who are going to take a deep dive into what people or other programs are saying. I'm clearly focused on the football. No shot at you, Dizza. It's just not what I'm going to focus my energy on. Common, believe Cam Duncan is real on me. All right, Coach Dre is vouching. He's stamping him. All right, Cam Duncan, listen, we need you to be our guy on the street since you have been stamped by Coach Dre. You got the inside track, man. So you can let me know if what I'm seeing as just a casual viewer from the outside is accurate based on what you're seeing from the inside. Also, I know why Isaac Wilson was brought to Boulder, and the big reason isn't actually for competition for JuJu. Okay. It's breaking news, man. Hey, listen, guys, we got a goal out there. If we get to 10 super chats, I'm going to bring in my first guest. Cam, let me know in the comments if you want to be my first guest, if you want to break some news on this show. I'm going to start bringing some guests in. So let's get to those 10 super chats so I could bring my first guest in. All right, Dizza, I don't care they making themselves and school look bad, but I get that. No energy. Yeah, man, anything you put your mind on multiplies, guys. Anything in life that you put your mind on multiplies. And that's one of the things. So we now have super chats and we have memberships. In the membership community, what I'm really going to focus on is exclusive content for people who are trying to not only be fans of CU, but have success like CU. So the big question is, are you going 9-3, 10-2 in your life? Are you going to do better this year than you did last year? So we're going to really get into content on personal development, professional development in the members only content. We will never put football content behind a paywall, guys. That's a no-no for me. We'll always have an opportunity to chop it up like this. All right. Let's see. Cam Duncan facts. The thing that keeps concerning me is interior D-line. Hey, Bright, I like that. Welcome to the chat. We're going to talk about interior D-line, which is why we need that linebacker play to be at a high level. So Cam Duncan can weigh in on that if he sees that as a concern. There's a digital okay. Respect. It's always respect here, guys. It's always respect. All right, let's keep going on the JuJu Lewis. Next thing that I had in my notes, but you guys have already addressed in the comments, is the loss of Dominic Ponder. We cannot underestimate, after seeing what we saw pre-spring break and after spring break, how impactful that loss potentially could have been for JuJu and how much that was on his mind. So he seems to be grieving, right? Or have grieved kind of the initial process of losing a close friend. but he's grieving probably in a more healthy way now that a little bit of time has passed so that his grief is not affecting his performance. So you love to see that. So what is he able to do now that I'm seeing on the field? He's taking ownership of this team, guys. Like somebody said in the comments just now, he was less vocal. And I think he's picking up some of that from Isaac Wilson, right? Kind of calling the guys in the huddle, making sure he has the right guys in the huddle before they run out on the field. And when he's on the field, making sure guys are lined up, understanding the playbook a little bit better. So what is that resulting in? He's making faster reads. He's making faster reads. He's anticipating how the play is going to develop, where the pressure might come from, and he's making the proper adjustments. It's not perfect, but hey, listen, what are we, 3-4 weeks in spring ball? He still has a lot of time to get better. And he has more willingness now to make those tight window throws, right? And I love that he's putting the ball down the field, throwing those tight window throws and making completions. And so that's what you really want to see from your future QB1. All right. So Coach Dre says he believes that we're going to bring in an additional 2 interior defensive tackles. Yeah, we need more folks on the interior. We'll pull up the depth chart here in a second and see what we already have and maybe where we could benefit from adding more. Cam says, I can tell you one thing that is huge. Don't always make huge assumptions from the well-off media videos. The well-off media videos are actually 5 to 10% of practice. Well, yeah, I know. And let me make a disclaimer here, guys. A lot of what I'm saying is not maybe from the purview of somebody like Cam or the coaches. Is really based on what we're actually able to see or what they're allowing us to see. So fair comment there. And all content creators probably need to include that as a disclaimer. So I appreciate you, Cam. All right, next thing. So let me ask you before I move on to the next thing so you guys can really engage with this question here. Is JuJu still your QB1? Or does Isaac Wilson or Quannell Sweetwine continue to really be a part of a true quarterback competition? So go ahead and drop it in the chat. Send a super chat if you really want to make a strong point about it, and I will highlight it on the live. All right, segment number 2. Let's talk about it. The best group on this field, top to bottom, right now, I am going to go ahead and make a strong statement. This is based on the last week of practice, or at least a group that is demonstrating from what we can see on well-off videos that they're really getting better week over week, and that's the running backs, guys. That is the running backs, guys. Big shout out to the running back room. Big shout out to the running back room. All right. First of all, this is my first time giving out a coach of the week. I'm going to start doing coach of the week, player of the week. Coach of the week right now, first year running back coach, is already making an impact, and that's Johnnie Mack. All right. Johnnie Mack is coaching up his guys. You can see this year, every position group coach is really coaching up their guys, right? It's competitive group to group, and it's competitive defensive versus offense. But again, it's always a brotherhood. These guys are really trying to get each other better. And you could see that Johnnie Mack's coaching is starting to really resonate and register with these guys, and it's showing up on the field. One of the comments that he made in the last well-off video that, was just a little clip is that, hey, guys, you're finally seeing the hole, right? And when they do see the hole, they're hitting the hole and they're running violent. Again, the identity of the team in 2026. This is the identity of the running back room. See the hole, hit the hole, and run violently. Okay, that's their identity. That is the culture, and that's the culture of the entire Colorado football team as I see it in 2026. All right, Dizza Digital said, let's see. Yes, Common, you can tell by his body language. This is Coach Dre. Look at the video before this week. He stands off, wouldn't talk much. Yeah, his body language says a lot. All of our body languages say a lot. Coach Dre, are you agreeing with me that the running backs, yes, hands down is the best group? I think so. Dizza Digital says there's been a lot of fake outrage about the interior D-line coach. Because people wanted to make a big name. Yeah. Well, I mean, if Coach Prime makes a hiring decision that is not quote unquote the popular decision to make, there's always going to be criticism. But this is a prove it business. It's like in life, right? You can say all you want to say, but at the end of the day, how does your unit play? And we'll talk about that here in just a second. That's the same issue with some of the UCU fan base. They make assumptions and base their opinions on well-off videos. Well, that's all we got. Here's the thing: when we lost Dom, coach had to make sure we had QB2. So think that's why they're pushing him so much. Oh, of course. And there are some go offensive principles that are best suited to a quarterback like Isaac Wilson versus a JuJu Lewis. And Brennan Marion wants to run his whole playbook. We're going to talk about some of the plays that you see that are very unique to Isaac Wilson. And as much as maybe we cannot predict the future, do we have a 2-quarterback offense here? I mean, think about it for a second. In order for Brennan Marion to run his entire menu of plays in the go-go offense, do we have to have a 2-quarterback system? Let's pause there for some debate. I'll let you guys catch up. Take a drink here. Bright says it's tough because Isaac has been more involved in the go-go set than JuJu. Dr. Vernon Shelton Sr. Welcome, Dr. Shelton. You look at a few clips and create false narratives. Am I creating a false narrative? I'm trying my best not to, Dr. Shelton. Dizza, that's the problem. This guy can coach, and he's getting the best out of these guys. And I assume you're talking about Brennan Marion getting the best out of his QB room. So, question. Will Brennan Marion need a 2-quarterback system to run his full playbook? And then we'll come back to the running backs, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. All right, right now, my running back of the week is DeKalon Taylor. Okay? Running back of the week, DeKalon Taylor. And here's why. DeKalon Taylor is a home run hitter. And as much as you love the Go-Go's vertical run game in between the tackles, it's great to have a guy that can get out to the edges and make big plays for you. If you notice in terms of the run game, the Richard Youngs of the world, the Damian Hendersons of the world, the Micah Welch, who I'll talk about in just a second, they're able to get their yards in between the tackles. Where I love what DeKalon Taylor is doing, he's getting his yards outside of the tackles, presenting a real pitch man, right? Really leaning into his niche as the pitch man in the triple option. He's out there on the outside getting busy. I was talking about the D-line coach. Okay, yeah, D-line coach is really coaching up and getting the best out of his guys. All right, so DeKalon Taylor is a home run hitter in that room. He's explosive, he's decisive, and like I said, he's the featured pitch man in the triple option. So when he gets the ball, he's looking to score all the time, and he has great contact balance as well. He's not necessarily going to run a guy over, but he's not necessarily going to go down just because he took the first hit, right? Even though he's a smaller stature guy, he has great contact balance, and he gets great yards after first contact. And he's looking to score. Right. And you could see that in the way he finishes runs, right? He's trying to break that last tackle to continue the run. And that's going to be a big problem for defenses when they play Colorado. So I love to see Colorado's run game getting better week over week. Cam says the go-go offense is set up for each of the QB strengths. So whatever the strength is of the QB, the go-go is going to utilize it. But I think, guys, as far as I've seen, when they want to get the ball to the outside run, the stretch runs, the option to the outside, right? Especially when they have those defensive ends who are very aggressive in Chris Morrow's defense guessing. Okay. You know, I love what I'm seeing, and rightfully so, we're not seeing everything, but when that triple option is working, it's because those defensive ends who are responsible for the edge are biting down on the dive. And that's how they're able to get outside of those defensive ends, those edge rushers, and really get out to the outside and do some damage with the triple option. I'm asking now for us to really get the most out of the triple option when we have defensive ends that are overly aggressive and undisciplined. do we see Isaac Wilson running that part of the playbook? Or do we see JuJu being mobile enough, again, not seeing all of practice, that JuJu is sometimes trying to get the ball to the outside and pitch it out to a DeKalon Taylor? Folks who have maybe greater insight into what's happening for the entire practice can let us know. For me this week, Micah showed that he wants to be the guy. I agree, and we're going to talk about Micah next. So even though I'm giving the nod to DeKalon, Micah Welch is my next running back to talk about. This is very important. He missed, I think, a couple of practice, maybe even a week of practice, and then slowly kind of worked his way back into the running back rotation before spring break. What we're seeing Micah Welch now get is more reps. And with more reps in the go-go, you're seeing him get more confident. All right. And he got a couple of touchdowns. He broke a few runs up the middle, got to the second and third level. And then he had one big explosive play for a touchdown. I think it was like a 30-yard run that he broke in the last practice of the week. So, important narrative to address with Micah Welch. When you see a guy like him, short, stocky, you sometimes get a narrative that he's like a 3-yard per carry, 4-yard per carry, grind down the defense kind of back. What he's showing is that, and he showed that in 2024 as a freshman, in 2025 in limited action as a sophomore, but now in the go-go offense, at least with the early installs, that he can hit a big play. And when you talk about iron sharpening iron, Micah Welch is going to benefit from playing against Brilen Edwards, and Brilen Edwards is going to benefit from playing against Micah Welch. That battle that is developing is the kind of football battle I love to see. Brilen Edwards, the freshman, free safety, number 26, is earning the nickname that I think he gave himself a couple practices ago, which is he's a hitman. All right. And there's nobody that loves a hitman more than Micah Welch, because he is not trying to juke. I mean, he'll juke, right, to get some additional yards when it makes sense. But when he is running in between those tackles, he is looking for the collision, and they have said hello to each other multiple times. As a freshman coming up, making big hits against a Richard Young, making big hits and cleaning Zach Atkins' clock, and then coming up and having car accidents practice after practice with Micah Welch, that's iron sharpening iron. My favorite player on this entire team is Brilen Edwards. He plays football the way you're supposed to play football. He's not scared of anybody, right? Coach Dre said, okay, yeah, I agree with Glove Game Champion. Welcome to the chat, sir. You new here? First time seeing you in the chat. Welcome. Much respect. Micah might benefit from slimming down. I don't know. I mean, does slimming down really bode well for his style? Because he loves collisions, right? So maybe him playing at this weight is really going to help him from injury standpoint, right? If you're playing like that, you're going to need some weight on you to endure all of those hits and to hand out the punishment that he likes to hand out. Yeah, Bright says that boy is hitting out there 100%. Brilen Edwards is out there handing out CTEs. All right, let's keep talking about this running back room that I love so much. Now, here's a guy who's been consistent, right? So one of the things about me is I like guys who make plays consistently, not just pop here and there. And a guy that doesn't maybe get talked about a lot is Bryce Hicks, number 27. Bryce is surprisingly elusive, right? He doesn't jump off the page like a DeKalon Taylor or super fast. He's not going to bowl you over like a Richard Young or Damian Henderson or a Micah Welch. He's just somewhere in the middle, right? He's got a little bit of everything, right? And he's elusive. Great contact balance and I love his spin move. He's one of the running backs that I think when we get to maybe the spring game or we get to the summer and fall practices, or if he gets the opportunity to get in a game during the season, watch out for Bryce Hicks' spin move. He's going to put some people in the spin cycle, which he's already doing in practice. Bright is asking, do you think he gets on the field this year? Are you talking about Micah? 150%. And I'm going to talk about the formation that he's going to be out on the field in quite a bit. Oh, this is Samba. Samba, man. Welcome back. Welcome back. Got a new phone. Lost my password. Yeah, the passwords are crazy, man. The Evenge. Are you a first timer here? Go ahead and big up yourself. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. He says, I doubt Micah is fat. That's muscle. He is a bowling ball. Yeah, he is a. Yeah, I would not want to tackle Micah Welch. Oh, yeah. Well, as you can see, the defense has stayed fairly healthy, but the wide receiver room, for example, has been devastated by injury. So you want to have guys who can come in and fill in, because this is football. When they're really going at it, it is a possibility that Brilen might see the field because of maybe injury, or even because he's playing so well leading up into the season that he earns himself some reps. Okay. But I love the way he's coming along and the development that's happening with him. Did you see Micah's high school highlights? He was slim and a home run threat. Yeah, I know he returned kicks too. So he is a home run threat still, which is what I'm saying. It's like you can't just believe the narrative that Micah Welch is a 3-yard, 4-yard per carry type of running back. I think he could definitely break a long one as well. If you haven't checked out my highlight tape from 2025 of Micah Welch, please do so. It is on the channel. And guys, you should be binging the content besides just a live. We got a lot of content out there. Okay. So what I love most, he's versatile. All right. And he's also Bryce Hicks, I'm saying. He's also nice in the pass game. So you love a DeKalon Taylor who could catch the ball also. Michael Welch has reliable hands as well. In 2025, he demonstrated that. In 2024, to a lesser extent. But I like Bryce Hicks in the pass game. I think he caught a swing pass in that last practice, took it for 25 or so yards to the house. So he's developing himself into a complete back, and you love to see guys performing well at multiple levels up of the depth chart. All right. So if you're watching this running back room and thinking this needs to be the identity, right? This violent identity of the entire offense, go ahead and drop run the ball in the chat, right? We've been talking about running the ball in Colorado. Let me know in the chat by putting run the ball, how excited about the possibility that we're going to be a predominantly, at least a balanced offense, but maybe lean run in 2026. Hit that super chat, support the show, and let's talk about it. All right, segment number 3. Segment number 3. What are y'all saying in the chat? Yeah, Coach Dre says run the ball. Control the clock. Control the clock. Don't have your defense out there for a 9-play touchdown drive by the opposing offense, and then you come out and do 3 and out. Run the ball. Run the ball. Run the ball. Give your defense a chance to catch their breath. My goodness, we did that so poorly in 2025. All right, let's talk about the wide receiver room. Q for 6 is back, y'all. Q for 6 is back. Now, he's in pads, I believe. But I think he's in limited reps right now. And whatever limited reps he's getting, he's already making an impact. You can feel his presence on the field immediately. They're playing him inside and outside. And it seems like Ernest Campbell is absent. Hopefully he's not hurt. He's probably running track. And so now Q gets that opportunity to pick up a lot of those reps that Ernest Campbell was getting early in camp. And he's stepping right in and making some plays. He's making plays downfield, and they're using him in the short game as well. So love to see Q for 6 back healthy. Another guy. So Brilen Edwards, my number 1 favorite player, probably on my list of whose jersey I'm going to get in 2026. Quannel Farrakhan is the next guy. He's probably my second favorite player on the team right now. All right. And, freshman year, he really bought his time. Didn't really see the field at wide receiver. I think he had a couple of reps at wide receiver, a couple of snaps in 2025. He played mostly in punt return, right? Reliable guy, fielding punts, etc. Didn't really make a ton of big plays in the punt return game, but very reliable, great hands. No wonder they trusted him in the punt return. But as a wide receiver, Quannell catches everything. You're not going to get any drops with Quannell on the field as a quarterback. You're not going to get any drops with Quannell as your wide receiver target. The event said, run the ball to set up the pass. Coach Dre says, I believe that Track Hawk, Micah, Henderson, and Richard, we all touched the ball this season. Yeah, they're going to run the ball by committee, and that is not a strange thing in the go-go offense. Brennan Marion will find a way to get these guys their touches. I believe Q46 is on a play count. Yeah, they're gradually working him back into the offense. He has good chemistry with JuJu Gibson, that is. Yes, I agree with that. They've played together this is going to be their second year. Now, there's two that move up in the depth chart, Q and Quannell. Oh, yeah, for sure. We're going to look at the depth chart here in a second. And then Cam can battle me out on the depth chart here because he's watching the whole practice. All right, so Quannell, he catches everything. He's a reliable target. A target for Quannell equals a catch. So you know how some guys need X number of targets to get X number of catches. In the case of Quannell, he's running routes, he's getting separations, he's making contested catches. So for him, a target equals a catch. He doesn't need as many targets to get to his catch total, which I love about him as a wide receiver. He's reliable, and here's another thing, he's consistent. I really don't like players who come out one practice, have a great practice, and then they tailor off. Quannell is proving that he can have a great practice every single practice. Couple of comps, okay, in terms of his hands and how good his hands are. Chris Carter, from a spectacular catch perspective, and Larry Fitzgerald from a reliability perspective. I know that's two Hall of Famers, whatever, but from what I'm seeing in terms of his hands, great hands. Wherever you put the ball, he's going to catch it. He's able to make catches with his hands in different positions, right? So, as a wide receiver, you might make a catch like this, right? Or up here, right? Or you might make it against your chest, right? Or you might have to scoop it off the turf, right? Or you might have to lay out for it this way, or you might have to dive extended. He's able to make every single catch you ask a wide receiver to make, whether it's spectacular or routine. And I love that about him. He's a true safety blanket for those quarterbacks. So what he does with good throws is he makes them look great. And then what he does with great throws is that he makes those throws look spectacular. As a quarterback, you need that out there on the outside. All right. So here's a real question. Let's start this debate. And that'll give me a moment to pause, catch my breath. Here's the next question for debate. Before I pose that question, let me read some of your comments here. We have to move one of these wide receivers to cornerback. Sheesh, yeah, the wide receiver room is loaded. Right, with who is healthy at wide receiver 1, I have Cam, Danny, Farrakhan, Caleb, and Campbell, Ward, and Q6, just because he's just getting back. Yeah, we'll look at the depth chart here in a second, Coach Dre. Which wide receiver do you see getting the most reps next to the hammer in the go-go at tailback? The hammer in the go-go. Is that a formation? Let me know, please. Explain it to me, Samba. I don't want to act like I know something that I don't know. I don't think that will happen. Nope. No 2QB nothing. Yo, Ant, welcome to the chat. Ant came through. He shut that whole thing down. He says, we're not playing a 2QB system here. It's going to be 1 QB. So who's your starting QB, Ant? I mean, if we get hit with injuries. Okay. Maybe we're talking about Edwards, right? All right, let's get back into it, guys. Here's the question. for debate in the chat. Do you take Quannell off the field when JoJo Williams and DeAndre Moore come back? Because they're coming back. Do you take Quannell off the field when JoJo and DeAndre are back? Let me know in the chat. Because these are some of the tough decisions that you're going to have to make. I mean, you got a kid that's out here playing his heart out. Absolutely playing his heart out. You got wide receiver ones that are currently injured, are probably going to come back later on in the spring. Hopefully they get back, and they got to get back in football shape. Depending on how severe the injuries are, they're going to have rehab. They're probably going to work them back into the rotation just like they're doing Q for 6. But what do you do with Quannell? What do you do with a kid like that that's playing his heart out, making plays? What do you do with Quannell? In my personal opinion, you don't take him off. You find a way to play him. You find a way to play him. All right. That's a lot of talk about the offense. That's a lot of offensive talk. Draft Buzz has DeAndre as the 5th ranked wide receiver in next year's draft. He is. He's just got to get back healthy. DeAndre and JoJo are going to have to come take it because that's how Coach Prime works. Yeah, you can't just snatch it back from him. You can't just snatch that opportunity back from Quannell. He's balling out. Levert Akins, welcome back to the chat, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. He says, St. Louis, you could find me in St. Louis, where they can play, rain all day. Nah. The event says, Boo Carter is that Draylon type, maybe. Yeah, he's a great Jersey guy. But hopefully you don't need to play him on offense, right? You got so many weapons already. Maybe if you just want to have a little bit of fun. Okay? All right. So they're going to have to take that position from Quannell, man. He is putting in that work. Bright says DMO not coming out. JoJo, I'm going to keep him out. Yeah, well, we'll see, man. It depends on how serious those injuries they're nursing and how soon they'll be back to 100%. During the season, we'll play 6 to 7 wideouts in the game, and Farrakhan will be in that number. Definitely, and Caleb Mathis. Don't sleep on Caleb either. Caleb Mathis is going to get some action. All right, guys, appreciate you for joining me on this Saturday. Remember, we got memberships. We got Super Chat. Go ahead and drop your boy a Super Chat if you are enjoying the show. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Go ahead and hit that subscribe. Let's grow this channel, guys. All right, now we're going to switch over to the defensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball. The D-line is starting to come together, guys. They're not as consistent. I mean, all of these units are kind of trying to find that consistency week over week. But with every practice, I'm feeling a little bit better about some of the things that are happening on the D-line, namely our pass rush. We didn't have much of a pass rush to speak of in 2025, guys. Oh, Warren G, what's up? Run Tell That series. He's got a channel. Go ahead and check him out. He says, salute. Salute to you, sir. Definitely not sleeping on Mathis. He's Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable. He's going to see some playtime. All right, the D-line is coming together. A couple of guys that I'm super excited about. Toby Anene bringing that rush. Practice after practice. Listen, this is why Brennan Marion is going to, and these quarterbacks are going to benefit from a Chris Marv defense. They are bringing the pressure. And as you can see, every time Brennan Marion tries to call a long developing pass play, it's a sack. It's a sack. Defensive ends are in the backfield, guys. You cannot call any pass play against these edge rushers where you need 4 to 5 seconds for the play to develop. It's not going to happen. They're going to be back there. So that's why you see a lot of these quick throws. I mean, these are go-go offense principles, but kind of, and some of them are successful, right? They'll get off the one-off where I think they were practicing outside. JuJu had to step up in the pocket. The rush almost got to him, and he got the ball off. You're not going to see many of those. And Cam Duncan, if you're there at practice, are you seeing the offense being able to play these long developing pass plays and still getting the ball off before the rush gets to them? So I love what I'm seeing from Coach Hilo and his unit. A couple of names to mention here. Manny Eziogu, he's playing with his hair on fire. Toby Anene, Mr. Consistent. I think he's going to be the anchor defensive end for us, or edge rusher for us. I think Toby Anene, not only his play, but his consistency is really earning him that position. And a guy that got off to a slow start, Balansama Kamara. And another thing to mention for the Muslim brothers who are on the team, like a Quannell and a Balansama, we got to remember that these guys were fasting early on in spring ball. Early on in spring ball, these guys were fasting. You can see like now Quannell is off of his fast. He was making plays then. He's making even more plays now. A guy who was quiet, who I kind of had fall back in the depth chart, that is now emerging, and you're hearing his name called with each practice, is Balansama Kamara, the transfer out of the University of Albany, I believe. So my top four right now on the edge: Manny Eziogu, Toby Anene, maybe top five. I don't want to cheat this guy. So Manny Eziogu, Toby Anene, Kylin Salter, who is surprisingly making a fast adjustment from linebacker to edge because they want Kylin on the field, right? You don't move a guy just simply because he can't compete. They felt pretty good about the linebacker room, but they still wanted Kylin the opportunity to get on the field, so they moved him to the edge. So we got Manny Eziogu 1, Toby Anene, Kylin Salter number 3, Balansama Kamara as he is emerging and becoming more consistent number 4, and Vili, I think his last name is Tafatafua. That's our rotation right there, guys. That's the rotation to try to get us back to 2020-24 form when we led the Big 12 in sacks. Coach Dre has been telling y'all Caleb Mathis played when we had Travis and Jimmy and Weaver. Yeah, Caleb is going to see the field. Baby primetime Cree is going to make his presence felt this season. Yeah, he's a turnover machine. He's going to eat on that defense. Trust. For these DBs to eat, we need to get pressure. We're going to have to force non-go-go offenses into quick throws in order to beat us. It's not going to be the quarterback standing back there for 5-6 seconds, dissecting what the defense is trying to do and getting the ball to their wide receivers. In that kind of situation, you're going to force quarterbacks to make mistakes, and that's how Cree Thomas is able to be a turnover machine. Nathan Mitchell as well. Salter is surprising you. Yeah, he's adjusting. Moving positions is not an easy thing to do in football, guys. If you're not used to having your hand in the dirt and you got to transition to putting your hand in the dirt, that is a big adjustment, and I love to see that adjustment is working well for him. I like that edge rotation. Yeah. So when you want to go big, you might go Toby Anene and Vili. When you want to go fast, you could use a combination of Eziogu, Balansama, and Salter. Right? Maybe on your third and longs, you got Eziogu opposite Salter. On your second and shorts, you got Anene opposite Vili, right? You got a good combination of size and speed that you could work with. Facts. He is a good surprise, playing very well. Yeah, he's earning his reps. Love to see Salter being successful. And big shout out to all the guys who stayed loyal, man, who didn't leave in the transfer portal. Big shout out to you. Okay. So I love what I'm seeing from my edge rushers. Now, this is the bulk of where I want to spend some time here because Cam Duncan immediately contradicted me, told me, and Diz the Digital told me to calm the hell down when I brought this up. Whenever I see the run game working, two issues pop up. Interior defensive line and linebacker. Interior defensive line and linebacker. Georgia Tech is going to test our setting of the edge against the run. Yeah, and when you see DeKalon Taylor hitting home runs on the outside, you get a little bit concerned. But that's because the inside run is working. So the thing that you could get defensive ends kind of forgetting what their assignment is if both the inside and outside is working. You don't know what the hell to do as an edge rusher. So that will be a great test. Levert Aiken says, salute to Coach Dre. Yeah, always a salute to Coach Dre, man. Big up yourself. Okay? So when I see our go-go offense being successful running the ball against our defense, two issues come up. Interior defensive line and linebacker. Interior D-line, guys. Who have you been most impressed with right now? And this is perfect opportunity for Cam to weigh in since he's been watching the full practice. Coach Dre, everybody, who have you been most impressed with? Right now, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Santana Hopper. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Santana Hopper. Bright says no one. Bright says no one. Okay, Levert says ESPN and the crew are going to have them blue tents flying up. Well, we need to see some, not literally blue tents, but we need to see that against the go-go offense because that is a downhill interior running game, and these running backs are getting to the second level. Kai Moore. Hey, man, big up yourself, Kai Moore. It's good to see you, man. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. He says our offense is difficult for most defenses, including our own. Yeah, it's a problem, man. You don't know what the hell to do, right? But again, this is where they have to learn and get better because if they could be successful against the run in the go-go offense, it's gonna bode well for us during the season. All right. So I like what I'm seeing from Santana Hopper. Okay. In terms of Ezra Christensen, Dylan Manuel, Cedric Smith, Tyler Moore, maybe it's just what I'm seeing on the well-off video. I really haven't seen them be in the backfield, be disruptive. Here or there with Ezra Christensen, but I'd like to see more tape on that interior defensive line. Now, the guy who seems to be working his way into that too deep interior defensive line. So right now, my too deep is still, you know what? Let me go ahead and share my screen because now we're talking about actual players. All right. You guys ready to get into some real ball talk here, some real roster analysis? Let's get busy. Let's get busy. Man, go ahead and hit that like button if you like real football analysis, none of this clickbait. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not subscribed right now. We're getting busy on Saturday, man. We are putting in that work. Let's jump into this defensive depth chart. Okay. Defensive depth chart. So right now, this is what I have. And remember, guys, D-line is rotational, right? So you really want to focus on this too deep here if I move anybody around. Okay. So right now, too deep, I have Manny, Kylin, 3 deep, Balansama. I gave him a gold star here for how he's been balling out. Toby, Villy, and I have Yamil Talib because he popped a little bit early in camp. And Lamont Lester had high hopes for him, but he's not popping as much. I think he's running with the 4th team and sometimes with the 3rd team. Okay. But on the interior, the guys I consistently see running with the 1s and 2s, are these guys right here: Santana Hopper, Ezra Christensen, Quincy Wiggins, and more Samu Taumanu Pepe. Okay, so Kai Moore is saying Cedric is ahead of Dylan. Okay. In terms of pure size, I think Cedric is bigger than Dylan. So if you're looking for that run stopper, maybe he is the guy that's emerging. But guys, this is what I'm going to do right here. From what I'm seeing on Well Off, is probably move Dylan back here and move Samu up. Now, I think Samu is still getting into football shape here. He's a pretty big guy. But this is what I'm really seeing from that interior defensive line from a two deep standpoint. Like Kai Moore said, or is saying, Cedric is working his way up. So I'm going to pay special attention to him here going forward in practices to see if I can pick up a little bit more of what Kai is seeing. All right. Do you agree or disagree with this two deep, including Balansama Kamara here as our kind of rotation that we're going to regularly roll out? Two deep plus Balansama, right? I think that's pretty much it right now in spring. Okay. This is what I'm seeing. All right. Now, what we're talking about is linebacker play, right? Against the run. If you're going to, right now, what I'm seeing as our starting linebackers when they call out the ones is Tyler Martinez and Gideon Lampron. Okay. My concern is, are these guys capable of being the run stoppers if we're a little soft in the middle in terms of the run game? Because most of the plays that I'm seeing in the run game, right, in terms of run stops, are coming when the runners are getting to the second and third level, right? Meaning the safeties are highly involved in stopping the run, but I'm only watching well off and reach the people. So, guys, this is going to be a focus of mine as I'm watching these videos. Are the run stops, meaning those big collisions in the run game, coming from our linebackers? Because if we're soft in the middle, we don't need Fontenette, Jaja Boyd, Brilen Edwards, Nathan Mitchell making the vast majority of these, and to a lesser extent, Boo Carter and Preston Ashley, making a vast majority of these run stops. That means that these guys are getting to the second level, right? And maybe the linebackers are getting washed in the traffic. Okay. So you guys let me know if I'm seeing something that you're not seeing, if you're seeing something similar to me. This is just me expressing some of my concerns here in our ability to stop the run. Yeah. The linebackers have to make it where the running backs do not want to run up the gut. Okay. Levert Aiken says, well, actually, before that, Kai Moore says, I need the linebackers to step up. Levert Aiken says, I've been looking at the footage. Do you all think we're good on left tackle? We're going to come back to offense here in a second. I think we need to make an adjustment on offense. That seems like a weakness. We need to pay close attention to. Yeah. Right now, left tackle, I believe, starting left tackle is Leon Bell. We'll come back to that. Kai Moore says he's noticing the same thing, that our linebackers are getting washed. But to the point that you made also, it's like, man, playing linebacker against that go-go run game is pretty difficult. Okay. So I think we definitely need to keep our eyes on our linebackers and their ability to stop the run. Leona, for all intents and purposes, was brought in to be a starter, but it looks like it's taking him a little bit of time to get adjusted. So most of the time I'm seeing him in the two deep with Gage Goldberg. All right, so guys, I'm going to give, so let's remove these because I give out gold stars for guys who I feel like are balling. We'll remove these and we'll kind of do this together right now. Some of these are going to just be me putting them back on, okay? Some of these are going to be just me putting these back on. Okay. So right now on the defensive side of the ball, guys I really like, right, that are playing consistently and performing is Creed Thomas. However, I do not believe Creed Thomas is the current starting cornerback. All right. I do not think that Creed Thomas is currently the starting cornerback. I think he's working his way into that. But guys, I think Justin Eaglin is still our starting cornerback. From what I'm seeing on Well Off Media, you guys let me know. He's just having a rough time right now. I think the defensive coaches are still starting Justin Eaglin at corner. Let's talk about it. He's struggling right now. And if you've played football, whenever a cornerback gets in their head, it's hard to get out of their own head. I think he's a little bit in his head right now. Okay. I think he's just a little bit in his head right now. And because he is one of the guys that's benefiting from that, and why a lot of people are calling for him right now, is Cree. Okay. Is Cree. It's still early. It is still early. But I think before a lot of people were concerned that RJ would be the one whose position Cree could have maybe taken. But I think the person that's a little bit on the hot seat right now is Justin. Okay? Is Justin. Um, but another guy that I really like that is balling out right now is Mojo Williams, the freshman. He's making plays consistently. After practice, they do a huddle up with the defense, and the coaches are giving out their awards. Mojo Williams and Creed Thomas's names are constantly being called. Constantly. Kai Moore says, the event says Justin and Cree are starters, in my opinion. Eaglin just plays too soft for me. He's not good in press man. Yeah, I think he's struggling a little bit with making the adjustment from primarily zone to primarily press man, right? And I think they're also going after him knowing that he's a little bit feeling the pressure. He's feeling the pressure a little bit. So one of the things I've seen in the go-go offense is they like to throw that screen to the slot wide receiver. Have you guys noticed that? And then they bring out the tight end to get a block on the corner. Okay. I think they got him on that when they caught him looking on the inside. And man, at some point you guys gotta let me know if you guys want to watch like the well-off videos live on the stream. I got to talk to some other content creators about how YouTube treats them doing that when they do that, so I don't get a copyright strike or whatever. But there was a play in the last practice where Justin got beat deep by Danny Scudero. And I think what they did to Justin was he had already gotten beat on a big play by a Q for 6. So I don't know which play came first, right? So it looked like they faked the screen to the slot wide receiver, and then they used the outside wide receiver to fake a block, kind of like a stop and go. And they got Justin to bite up thinking that he was about to take on a block from the outside receiver, Danny Scudero, and they snuck him by him. And you could obviously see that it was like one of those moments where, oh my God, I'm beat, right? Because the gap was so wide that it was more of a scheme, right, that was used to beat him than Danny Scudero just purely beating him on route running. When you start to see things like that happen to your corner where they're able to scheme and beat him, you have a corner now that might be in his own head. This is just me guessing as a former corner, guys. Okay. So I don't think it's an issue of Justin doesn't have the speed, he doesn't have the size, he can't cover. I think some of his early struggles are getting in his head, and then they're using scheme to now beat him. Not only, hey, we're just going to go deep on Justin, we might scheme him to get his eyes in a certain area, and then we're going to beat him again. Okay. There's no way I'm starting a true freshman at corner. You have to be like that. Yeah, I'm not starting any true freshman right now. I like the delay corner blitz Marv is cooking up. Yep, he's bringing the blitz as well. I think he trusts Mojo Williams mainly to come on that blitz. And he's been able to make some plays on that blitz. You guys let me know if I'm reaching on that Justin Eaglin breakdown I just gave, or you feel like some of that stuff is happening right now. But that's where we are, I think. So this is my two deep right now at corner. It's RJ Johnson, Mo Williams, Justin Eaglin, Creed Thomas. Anything happening behind them, I think it's a practice-to-practice thing, how these guys are being rotated. Because of lack of depth on the offensive side of the ball, I think Alex Ward is now on the offensive side at wide receiver, giving the defense some looks. Okay. All right. Obviously, we know Boo Carter is starting. Preston Ashley is starting to come along as well. JB, I think this is your first time in the chat. Man, this is entertainment, JB. Welcome to the chat. Great question. Welcome to the chat, JB. JB says, I'm trying to understand how y'all make these types of critiques when you guys don't see the full practices. Cam Duncan is in here, and per Cam Duncan and Coach Dre, they're watching the full practices. I don't know if Cam is still in here, but Cam can always check me on this stuff. He can always check me on this stuff. I realize I'm not watching the whole practice, but from what is being shown, I am giving my opinion. Now, you can say your opinion is completely wrong, you're completely off, but that's what the live show is about. Now, you can't just say my opinion is completely off and completely wrong. You have to now give me a counterpoint. You have to say, yeah, I know what you saw on Well Off, but this is what I am seeing. That's what a debate is. You can't just say, oh, how are you even developing these ideas? And then you don't give me a counterpoint. Because when you give me your counterpoint, then we can have a debate. Okay. Demysticles. Hey man, big up yourself. Demysticles, big up yourself. He says, how is Vickers doing? Yeah, I think Eaglin will show out. Yeah, it's a long time, guys. Right? He's just struggling right now. And I'm only pointing out what's happening on tape. Lil Bucket, my guy. Welcome to the chat, man. Big up yourself. These are all the loyal day ones up in here, continuing to grow the channel. Guys, you know we got super chats, man. Drop a super chat for your boy. We got a goal of 10 super chats. Once we get to 10 super chats, we might bring on our first guest. Working on that part of the show. Lil Bucket says it's crazy. Brilen Edwards looking better than Jaden Hardy, and dog came from OU. Hey, listen. That boy Brilen Edwards is a dog. Not sure Cam is actually seeing more than is available to all of us. Well, that's what he said, and Coach Dre stamped it, so apparently he must be. Kai Moore says that statement is invalid because basically saying well-off media is purposefully making players look bad, LOL. Yeah, like I'm only going off of what they're showing us. It's not like I'm making it up out of whole cloth, right? I'm looking at what they're showing us. JB, right. I understand that I'm not disagreeing. I'm just asking because practice footage takes more than just seeing a few clips. You have to see the full practice footage to make an honest judgment. That's all. No, JB, clearly. But then if you feel differently, right, apart from the point that you're making, which is fair, which I probably just need to make put a disclosure on the screen. I realize I'm only seeing in part, right? But without me actually putting that disclosure out there, hopefully you understand that the narrative is skewed based on what I can see. Lamont Simmons says, who's Cam? Cam Duncan, that is, man. He was in the chat earlier. Haven't heard from him in a while, so maybe he's off the stream now. Lamont, welcome back to the chat, man. All right, so let's keep giving out these gold stars. I'm going to give one here to Balansama Kamara. Okay, he's balling. He's balling. All right, Preston Ashley is coming along. He's developing. I think he's getting more and more confident working with Coach Mathis. In a presser, Coach Mathis said he's really focused. He's really focused. He's really learning. He's always in his office trying to get more information. Keith Dunstall, welcome to the chat. My man Keith said exactly. Clown show. Yo, Keith, man, come on, man. I thought you were my brother. I thought you were my brother, Keith. Go ahead and hit that like button, man. I thought we were brothers, man. I thought we were better than that. Lil Bucket says, why Justin Eaglin been getting some last couple of practice? Because he didn't look like that at James Madison. Listen, this is what JB and Keith Dunstall and, you know, maybe a few others are saying. It's like we're jumping to conclusion, though. Maybe they're only showing us a few of the reps, which clearly they only are, but maybe he's killing it in one-on-ones, which is why in team periods, he's getting the opportunity to be the starting cornerback. I don't know. We're not seeing it, and that's a fact that people are making. But it's just based on what I'm seeing that I'm kind of doing my analysis. Bright, because he's not a press man corner, and it'll be a while before he gets used to it. I agree. Thank you guys for being so highly involved in the chat. Thank you to all 50 or so of you that are watching this live broadcast. Salute. Let's keep this thing going, man. So now let's move up to some other gold stars that I'm gonna hand out here, right here, and I'm gonna cause some controversy as well. Because what would be a live stream without some controversy? Yeah, gold star to Nathan Mitchell and gold star to Brilen Edwards. I have Brilen Edwards already ahead of Jaden Hardy because he's consistently making plays in the run game. Keith says, we good, common sense. I'm laughing at something else. All right, I appreciate that, man. Damn, whew. I thought I was a clown show, man. I guess it's hard to have a conversation on this. I do feel that jumping to conclusions are accurate. Yeah, you gotta kind of, it's an opinion show, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. But I would love to hear your counter argument as well. Outside of that, like Justin Eaglin is doing X, or Justin Eaglin is the right cornerback for Colorado because, and then that will help me learn. All right, Justin getting cooked, but he has time to turn it around. I agree. Brilen needs to wrap up, though. Listen, man, it's Headache Gang CEO Part 2. Headache Gang CEO Part 2. But he's a short tackler, though. He has proven himself to be a short tackler. Lil Bucket says, Edwards' pursuit to the ball and ain't afraid to hit you. Want that from a freshman, yeah. But I agree also with Kai Moore. You want to see him wrap up. But that's how he played in high school, man. At Duncanville, that is just absolutely how he played, right? Second win life. Okay, second win. Welcome to the chat. First timer? Straight out of Houston, Texas. Appreciate you being here. The Avenge. Truth KY, he hits hard but needs to wrap up. Paul Omadia is hilarious. Yeah, Paul is out there. I have him as third string. Now, here's where I'm going to cause controversy, guys. I'm going to do this right now, and then you guys can fight me about it in the chat. From what I have seen on well-off videos, I think this is what's happening at strong safety. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. I'm seeing that JuJu Boyd is getting a majority of the first team reps. And again, based on what we're not seeing on well-off videos, he might also be making plays enough for him to earn those reps. You guys let me know what you think. Oh, you saw what happened to Shiloh when he didn't wrap up. I wonder if Nathan can be a lockdown Nathan Mitchell as a corner. I don't know. I think he's a safety. I think he's a safety. I mean, now where he might excel in coverage might be, can he really play when they go 4 wide and he has to take on a slot wide receiver? Or if he has to take on a really good route running tight end, is he big enough to cover that tight end, right? Or is he fast and agile enough to cover a good slot wide receiver? That's an interesting question. Whoa there. What type of analysis is that, I guess, huh? He said, calm down, brother, calm down. Calm down. Lil Bucket, why you tell me to calm down, man? Why are you telling me to calm down? What am I missing? What am I missing from what I'm seeing on tape? Bright is also telling me to calm down. So let's talk about it, guys. Why do you think I need to calm down? All right. So while you guys go ahead and put your comments in the chat, let's go ahead and talk about this linebacker room, guys. Do we have the linebackers that are going to be able to stop the run? If we do have the linebackers that are able to stop the run, we need to stop the run in practice. Again, maybe we're not seeing the run stops. Then maybe we need to stop the run in a way that's spectacular enough for it to end up on a highlight reel. Just like we're seeing one hit a practice from Brilen Edwards, I need to see one big hit per practice from Leona or ESPN or Tyler Martinez. There's some way that we got to put something on film that lets me know as a fan these linebackers came to play. That these linebackers came to play. The event says you can't do Randon like that. I ain't doing him like that. The film is doing him like that. Lil Bucket says Randon ain't riding the bench. Kai Moore says Nate at corner might work. He's aggressive. My first time and also Houston, Texas, second win. Welcome. I don't know yet, says Kai Moore. I need my DTs out of my linebackers' laps. Yeah, they're getting pushed back, man, and it's concerning. It's concerning. It's making that O-line look legit because they are bullying the interior defensive line, and that's how these guys are able to get these vertical runs going. Keith says Brilen can't be on the bench. The Buffs corners are suspect other than Cree. Damn. I'm looking at what you're looking at, man, and I don't know. I like Mojo. I like Mojo. What do you think about Mojo, Keith? You cannot put JuJu over Randon. Okay, why? So you just can't say what I can't do. I want to debate, right? So say why Randon is making plays. Every time the ones run out there, it's Randon. No, when the twos run out there, I see Randon. Now, they're doing a lot of rotating because they're trying to find the best 11 to put out there. But when I'm seeing the ones consistently running out, I'm seeing JuJu Boyd out there. Lil Bucket says Samu is lazy and can't contain leverage. He doesn't maintain leverage. That's why we see our running backs going to the second level. Yeah, the running backs are at the second level, y'all. The running backs are at the second level. I don't see a lot of penetration with tackles for loss coming from this defensive front. I just don't see it. O-line is probably legit. I mean, they're legit against this D-line. Now, what I will say is I like what the edge rushers are doing, though. They're getting pressure. They're getting pressure. Kai Moore says that has me worried about playing against larger, faster defensive tackles in the Big 12. Meaning the O-line is not going to see the kind of practice reps that they need to see to play against the faster, bigger D tackles in the Big 12. Let me know. I think what y'all are forgetting is that the go-go offense is a nightmare for defenses. Tell me a constant defensive scheme that stops the go-go. We can talk. Yeah, but still. So that's like saying nobody is ever going to be able to stop the Go-Go's run offense. I don't think that's what you're saying, right? Like it's impossible to stop. No, that's when you actually need to stop something, when other teams can't stop it. What is a good defense if you say, well, they're a really good defense except against the Go-Go offense? What? Good defense is going to stop anything. Good linebackers are going to stop anything. If we start saying, well, we're a good run defense as long as they don't run option, then what are we saying? They're a good run defense as long as they don't run, as long as the offense doesn't run two running backs. You know, they're a good run defense as long as the running back isn't DeKalon Taylor. Then I don't know if we're a good run defense. You got to be able to stop whatever. Mojo is not consistent enough to be a starter. I do not have him as a starter, but I certainly have him in a 2D. Kai Moore says, yes, sir. Are you agreeing with me, Kai? Good thing we're in the spring. Hopefully we watch spring game and they adjust and get better in the fall. Yeah, we got work to do, but that's okay. And it's good to acknowledge that we have work to do. Guys, it does not make you a bad fan if you just call out what you're seeing. Believe your lying eyes, okay? When you see something, be like, oh, yeah, that's real. Don't just be like a fan that you can't even see reality. Our interior defensive line is the biggest concern on the whole team. Good defenses adjust. Good defenses adjust. Right? You got to be able to stop whatever the offense throws at you. Because here's what offenses are going to do. They're going to run whatever you can't stop. They're going to run whatever you cannot stop. And that's just a reality of football. They're not going to run plays that you can stop. LeBron Simmons says Dylan Manuel third is a recruiting fail. I mean, this is just what I'm seeing, right? Are you guys seeing something different? But again, we're not watching the whole practice. Quincy at defensive tackle. Yeah, Quincy is a defensive tackle on this particular D line. But then you can say the same thing about Santana Hopper, right? But Santana Hopper is proven to be one of the better defensive linemen that we have defensive tackles. He's coming from Tulane, highly touted. He's proven, and he's showing it in Boulder as well. Okay, so this is what I have on the defensive side of the ball, guys. I have my concerns at linebacker. I have my concerns at interior defensive line. We already talked about the defensive back room, the guys who are balling, Creed Thomas, Mojo Williams, Nathan Mitchell, and Brilen Edwards. I caused some controversy here by moving JuJu Boyd ahead of Random Fontenette. Watch the tape, guys, and let me know on the next live on Saturday if I'm wrong. All right, let's go on the offensive side of the ball. Let's talk offense. I'm struggling watching this 4-2 defense. The Buffs have too many good linebackers and hybrid safeties, nickelbacks, but not enough defensive tackles. Yeah, guys, that third linebacker has to be the nickelback. That's what the 4-2-5 defense really leans into. Can your safeties come down and play in the box? Because it's vulnerable to run, right? But if you got a safety who can come down and play in the box and run support, you're going to be good playing a 4-2-5. Teams fail on transfers every year. Yeah, it happens. To me, the corners, the DBs are my biggest concerns. I've seen D-line do well in one-on-ones. DBs are constantly getting killed. Yeah, we got work to do. All right, now we're on offense. I think we can say Isaac Wilson got his gold star in the first 2 weeks post spring break. I'm going to give the nod right now to JuJu Lewis. Okay. I'm going to give the nod to JuJu Lewis. I'm going to go ahead and give him a gold star for his bounce back. All right. Now, what we're seeing is something very interesting. Now, again, because we're doing running back by committee, okay, What I'm seeing is I'm probably going to take this gold star away from practice this week. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to move. Oh boy, what did I do? I'm going to move Micah Welch up here. I'm going to move Richard Young, Damian Henderson here. And then what I'm seeing is Brennan Marion likes JuJu Lewis paired with DeKalon Taylor with more wide receiver options on the field, kind of a more pure passing formation for the go-go offense. Have you guys noticed that? You'll see JuJu Lewis, DeKalon Taylor, Zach Atkins, and 3 wide receivers. Typically. Okay? And then when you get Isaac Wilson, you're typically getting 2 running back sets. Have you guys noticed that? And the 2 running back set that seem to be working really well this week is Isaac Wilson, Micah Welch, and DeKalon Taylor. Let's see. Cedric Smith says DBs are his biggest concern. Yes. The Avenge is agreeing with Keith that they're struggling to watch the 4-2-5. One-on-one is made for wide receiver. Yeah, one-on-one is tough. Texas backer isn't starting, not right now. He's in the 2 deep with Gage Goldberg. I truly believe a 3-3-5 is being installed. We will see. DBs are solid, says Kai Moore. Low Bucket is saying the problem is coaching. So you're saying Coach Fletcher does not know how to teach DBs press man? And even with the assistance of Coach Prime, they're still falling down? Lamont says, stop it, Low Bucket. Nah, Cam probably right. Is that Cam Duncan? Bucket don't start today. Yeah, Coach Prime, man. Hey, not Coach Prime. Coach Dre. Bucket comes in. Let me see if I can find something special for Coach Bucket. Let me say Coach for Lil Bucket. Yeah, every time Lil Bucket comments, he's gonna get that. Until I can find some gunshots for him. All right. So this is what I'm seeing this week in terms of who the Colorado Buffalo or who had the best week of practice. I think JuJu Lewis. Yeah, let's go ahead and give DeKalon a gold star as well. This is what I liked in the backfield this week. Love what I saw from JuJu, DeKalon, and Micah. Kai Moore says, would anyone agree Wilson looks better in a pro scheme than JuJu? Actually, I like Wilson running that option, man, which is not a pro scheme. I like Isaac Wilson running that triple option with Micah and DeKalon Taylor, with Micah being the dive man and DeKalon being the pitch man. I have not seen JuJu run that. But I love what I saw from Isaac Wilson. Oh, I think it's 2 A's. I love what I saw from Isaac Wilson. Is it 2 A's? I don't know. You guys let me know. Yeah, it's 2 A's, I think. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing in the backfield. Now, at wide receiver, Danny Scudero is proven to be what this team expected, what they recruited. I love to see Quentin Gibson off of IR right now, gradually working himself back in because of Ernest Campbell's absence. I'm going to move him down. I didn't really see much of him this week. I'm going to move up Caleb Mathis here. And then because Quentin Gibson is still on limited reps, I have him behind Caleb. And I have Ernest Campbell now because he's out right now. Okay. Coach Dre says, was we good as a defense, seen a lot of good things and a few things that need to get worked on. Yeah, I agree with that, Coach Dre. Lil Bucket is insane. Bucket, we will play my zone press man when we blitz. Okay. I don't mind Chauncey starting, but focus on that weight during fall. At least drop 20 to 30 more pounds. Yeah, he's a big boy. He is a big boy. So let's go to the Leon Bell. Somebody was saying we might be struggling to find a solution here at left tackle, but for right now, it is Leon Bell. Chauncey Gooden is our left guard. Demetrius Hunter is proving that he is that guy at center. Jose Soto, Mr. Consistent, really, those guys are really getting a push now. They are really getting a push. And they're playing as a unit, which is why the run game is working so well. I think another real battle that's happening here is on the outside at the right tackle between Bo Hughley and Taj White. Okay. Bo Hughley and Taj White are battling it out. I don't know if what have you guys seen from Javon McFadden, the Ohio State transfer? What are you guys seeing from Javon McFadden, the Ohio State transfer? Jose is going to the NFL. He's definitely a road grader. They love running behind that right side of the offensive line. They love running behind Jose. Can Cam Perry be in the slot? Yes, he can. But because of injuries to DeAndre Moore, Joseph Williams, I think they're sliding him to the outside. But I like him and Quannell here. I think Quannell could easily slide into this outside wide receiver position when they move Cam Perry on the inside. Let's see what you guys are saying. Hey, we got super chats, guys. Super chats are available if you want to support the show. We got memberships that are now live if you want to support the show. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you haven't already. We need to go over 800 subscribers, guys. Let's see where we are right now with subs. Let's see where we are right now with subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Let's get over. Oh, we are 794. Come on, man. There's enough people on here to get us over 800. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's celebrate. Lil Bucket says McFadden, nothing really. He hasn't stood out as an O-lineman. Yeah, I haven't really seen anything from him, which is why I have him here. Yaya is definitely battling it out with Chauncey Gooden, but I think Chauncey Gooden has the edge right now. So I love that the offensive line continues to stay healthy. What I don't like is our depth at center. Now, what you might say is Yaya could always move over to center, but then what does that do for Chauncey Gooden in terms of his backup here on the interior? Because I haven't really seen much that I could be excited about from these guys. But again, we're not watching the whole practice. I heard that Xavier Payne, the freshman, is making some noise as well, so maybe we'll see a little bit more of him on film. All right. So now we're going to move to the tight ends. I think Zach Atkins continues to be that guy. Fisher Clements backing him up. And Corbin Lazier seems to be getting a lot of reps in that second string / third string when they have multiple tight ends on the field. Behind him, Charlie Williams, Brady Kopats, and then Zane D'Souza. I want to see more from Zane. Great size, kind of prototypical tight end, but I haven't really seen him making plays. I'd love to see him move up this depth chart. All right, guys. So you guys have been great. You've been highly engaged. I appreciate you hanging out with me here on this Saturday. So what do I like so far from spring practice? This team is getting better. That's number one. Our running back room is elite. Our quarterback room is developing. Our wide receiver room is deep and competitive, and we expect to get more guys back as they come off of IR. This linebacker room, I do have some questions. Can we adjust to the go-go? Can we stop the run? Interior defensive line, can we adjust to the go-go? Can we stop the run? If we can get better play from the interior defensive line, better play from the linebackers, we're going to be outstanding as a defense. Okay. So if you rock with this stream, guys, go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe, stay active in the chat. I appreciate you. We now have super chats every Saturday at noon. We're going to do a live session. So the next time you're in here, please hit us up with that super chat if you can. Bubba went ahead and broke history, made history on this chat with our very first super chat. We also have memberships that are now live. Guys, in the membership, we're going to be talking about winning off the field. For me, I have a real life outside of creating content, and I want to be the best in my business. Hopefully you want to be the best in your business, in your career as well. So the content that we're going to create for members are going to be focused on how do you take the coaching principles that these players are getting at Colorado and apply it to your real life. So it had been a long time, and I shouldn't have left you without some dope content to react to, which is why we did this live. Guys, I hope the Almighty is blessing you. I hope the Almighty is prospering you. I hope that you're in good health, and that whatever your hands find to do is prospering, and that you're growing your wealth. And if you're going through some hard times right now, remember, hard times do not last forever. All right? So until next time, peace.